What is going on today, everybody? Hope you're doing well, man. I hope your weekend has been great. Now today, we're gonna be out shooting, just having a good time. The weather is beautiful, man. I can't beat this. It's cool, it's still, the sun's out, the sky's blue. You can't beat that for a good shooting day. Plus, I'm down here in my favorite little place to shoot. It's just serene and peaceful, other than the lawnmowers going off in the distance. But that's okay, you have to deal with that, because I'm not truly in the country. Is that right? Country. Anyways. So today we're going to be talking about Asiatic versus traditional archery and some of the things that I've had to learn and overcome trying out Asiatic archery. And one of the big ones is, which way are you going to shoot? You gonna use the glove or are you going to use the thumb? That's one of the things that I've had to really adjust and adapt to when it comes to this style of shooting. Now, can you shoot an Asiatic bow with a traditional Mediterranean release? Of course you can. There's no rules that says you can't. However, I've kind of immersed myself in this, and once I take on a task, I try to do as much as I possibly can to learn just about every aspect of that task. Now, within each style of shooting, whether it's Asiatic or Western Traditional, there are so many disciplines within those. I mean, it's mind-boggling, you know, the different aspects and the different styles of shooting that you can kind of pull out of each one. So today I'm going to talk about some differences that I've noticed. I'm just going to take some shots and show you what I'm talking about, so let's get at it. Now, the first one on the list is my anchor point. That's one thing that I'm very consistent about, or try to be very consistent about. But when it comes to this style, the Asiatic style, I'm a little bit kind of scattered right now. And then I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'm going to take a couple shots with my horse bow, and then I'm going to take a couple shots with my hybrid longbow over here. I think it's about 10 or 15 yards away. I'm not sure. But I'm going to take some different shots. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more in detail. And then we'll go on to some other aspects of this style of shooting. I don't know if I can get around that tree that's right there in front of me, but we'll try. And it's a miss. As you can see, my anchor is not in my traditional form. This is more off of, I don't know if it's an instinctive or an aiming style of anchor, but it's more of my knuckle on the back of my thumb hitting this part of my cheek right here, and that's kind of where I've trained myself to know, okay, you're there, release or hold. And doing that, it's actually helped me to be consistent with my shot cycle. So I can always tell when I get to that point that I'm there, and I can either do one of two things. I can either immediately release a shot, or I can hold and try to aim a little bit better before I decide to release that arrow. So let me get my longbow and let me show you the other style of anchor. Now, as you could tell with the last shots, that was almost just a single point of anchor, if you will. Now with my traditional shooting, I use two different points. I use the first knuckle on my thumb, and then I use the fingertip of my index finger. And let's take a few shots with my Southwest Archery Ghost takedown bow. There's 3 points that you're going to hit whenever you do that style of shooting, or whenever you shoot Western Traditional. And you may not, but this is what I do. You know, you got your anchor, and then your final anchor is what I call that, or your final point. And really all this is doing here is just kind of keeping you consistent within your shot. You're doing something that's repeatable. That's the key. That way, if you have a repeatable cycle, your shots are going to be more consistent and more on point when they hit the target. So let's collect the arrows and let's move on to the next one. Hi. Now, the next thing that I've noticed the difference between these two styles of shooting is my draw cycle. Now, I struggled for a long time with this horse bow or Asiatic style of shooting, because I was trying to do something that didn't work for me, and I had to change that, and I still have to think through that process. And let me show you what I'm talking about in that draw cycle. Now, I'm right here in front of the targets. I'm not shooting far at all. So if you look at this, whenever I draw back to shoot, what I'm doing is I was trying to do a pull down style into my final point where I was going to, as I'm drawing down into my final point and then releasing the arrow. But what I'm finding is that doesn't work for me because I'm too inconsistent with where I'm actually stopping as I'm lowering my arm. So what I have to do is use the same style of draw that I use, or same style of form that I use whenever I shoot a traditional recurve or longbow, which is pull the arm up, draw back, and then release the arrow. And it works for both styles of shooting for me. Now, there are people who can do that, and I'm not really sure. I think it's a Korean style of shooting. Again, I'm no expert. I just know what works for me and, you know, what I've experienced over the course of a few months. So again, whenever I pull down into the shot, I'm inconsistent with where I'm stopping. Now, could I overcome that? Yes, I could definitely overcome that, but I would have to do a lot of additional work for that. So I found it just as easy, again, just to pull up to where I normally do, draw back, and then release the arrow. And that works for me, and it works for both styles of shooting. All right, so first and foremost, pull down method. Now what I find is when I do that, I turn into more of a snap shooter. And I'm really inconsistent with that. Eeh, ugly. But again, this may work for you, it just doesn't work for me. So let's go look at where the arrow's impacted. Then we're gonna try just the standard draw. And you can see this was the pull down shooting method. I need to slow that shot cycle down. That may help with that. But as you can see, I'm very inconsistent with my shot placement. Next 3 shots, we're gonna do standard draw. Much better on the shot placement, much better on the groupings. Let's go look at that. As you can see, albeit a little bit lower, still the grouping is much more consistent. The arrow flight, or arrow impact rather, is a lot more consistent on the target. So it's the subtle things that, like that, just knowing the difference between what works for you and what doesn't is going to, I don't want to say dictate your enjoyment with this, but it's really going to help you when it comes to why am I not shooting well? I'm trying everything these other guys are doing and it's just not working for me. Sometimes it doesn't work for you. You need to find your own way with things. But I'm finding that that just expanding through my shot like normal really helps with no matter which style of shooting that I'm doing. Trying to navigate between the two, I'm finding that I am pulling to the left when I take my shots, and I have to correct after the first shot. See if I can do that here. There we go. All in all, still really good shots, but it's a consistent draw throughout, and the Mediterranean release works for me. So don't try to do or follow the crowd unless you find that what they're doing works for you. If it's not, don't frustrate yourself. Get out there, find your way, do what works for you, and in the end, you're going to get more enjoyment out of the sport. The last thing you want to do is to get to a point of frustration where you just give up and you're tired and you're ready to go throw in the towel. So let me go get my arrows. We're going to shoot some more. Well, I got one in right there on the edge. I'm not going to complain about that. All in all, it's a good day out shooting today. I'm having so much fun, man. But again, practice, practice, practice. That's what makes perfect. And if you're not perfect, you know what? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Just have fun. That's the goal. That's the key, is to get out here and have fun, man. Well, there you have a brief little video about shooting Asiatic style of shooting versus my traditional style of shooting. I like them both. I think I'm more into the Asiatic style and I may continue down that path, and I may purchase another bow to add to the collection. But if I do that, then what I'm going to have to do is start moving out of some of my other traditional archery setups, and I may do a bow giveaway out of my collection of bows that I have. So stick around for that. I'm really thinking about that, and let me know what you think about that in the comments below, if maybe you'd be interested in anything that I've shot or reviewed here on this channel. And I may put together a real nice bow giveaway for that. But again, I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, from Asiatic style to Western traditional, there's a lot of differences, but then there's a lot of similarities, as you saw. The anchor and then the release with the thumb, trying to get that consistent has been a challenge for me, to say the least, but I think I'm getting to that point where I'm more comfortable doing that. And as you saw with my my Ghost Takedown longbow, that was really, I love that bow. I've shot that bow so much. I haven't shot it a lot as of late, trying to get, you know, myself kind of geared or adhered to this new style of archery, but that is one of my go-tos, one of my favorites, and I love to take that one off the wall and just shoot it and have fun with it. But you could tell the differences in the grouping, and you could tell the difference in the anchor, the release. The form thing is one of those that I have to stick with in just my traditional style, where I can't do the drawdown. I've tried it and tried it and tried it, and I'm very inconsistent with that. But when I find that I go through my normal draw cycle and then with my back tension and my normal release, no matter if it's thumb or if it's split finger, it's actually giving me the same results. So I'm really comfortable doing that. But again, if you decide to go down this path of Asiatic archery, it's challenging, it's fun, you're going to have a great time, you're going to face some frustrations at the beginning, but once you get past those little bit of hurdles, you're going to find that it's so fascinating, and it's kind of like drives you to get better at that style of shooting. So thank you for coming by today. For all the people that are new to my channel and have just recently subscribed, thank you. I really appreciate your support. Those who have been with me for a long time, I really appreciate that you hang around with this old goofy guy out shooting in his backyard or down in the woods. It means a lot to me that you support my content the way that you do. Also, please go by and check out my website, blueskiesarchery.com. I do have my product links there for all the things that I use here, all the things that I've reviewed here actually are there in my product links. And if you do decide to buy something from that, it is an affiliate link, so I do get a little bit of change from that. Not a lot. I'm not getting rich. It's really just enough to dump back into my channel and support it by, you know, being able to purchase new gear to review and to bring here on the channel. For hopefully you'll find something here that you'll like. And maybe something that you're interested in. So who knows? Go check it out, blueskiesarchery.com. So thank you so much. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If it's not worthy of a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. I'm totally good with that either way, because I'm just on here having fun, and I'm hoping that you find something of use here, and I'm hoping that you find something that entertains you at the very least. So thank you for coming by today. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's always my hope that you have a great day, a better day tomorrow, and a wonderful week ahead of you. And until next time.